The People's Power Party has raised concerns over the recent sentencing of former Transport Minister Iswaran, calling for a harsher punishment and more clarity from the Attorney General's chambers. In a Facebook post on Monday, the PPP acknowledged the High Court's decision, but expressed disappointment that the sentence did not fully reflect the seriousness of the charges. The party agreed with High Court Judge Vincent Hung's assessment that the proposed sentences from both the prosecution and defence failed to address the gravity of the 34 counts of gratification involving a public servant. These acts of gratification amounted to 403,300 Singapore dollars in total. However, the PPP voiced its expectation for a more severe penalty, believing that a longer sentence would send a stronger deterrent message to public officials and office holders. The sentence should fully reflect the severity of the charges, the party noted. In addition to their concerns about the sentencing, the PPP sought clarification on the AGC's statement from September 24, 2024, regarding the application of Section 8 of the Prevention of Corruption Act. This section presumes corrupt intent unless proven otherwise, shifting the burden of proof to the accused. The PPP expressed interest in understanding how this legal provision was applied to Iswaran's case and why the charges were eventually reduced from corruption to lesser offences under Section 165 of the Penal Code. The PPP is not the only political party expressing dissatisfaction with the outcome of the case. The Progress Singapore Party had also issued a statement earlier, with Secretary-General Hazel Power calling for more transparency from the AGC. In her statement, Power acknowledged the high public interest in the case and urged the AGC to provide further clarity regarding its prosecutorial decisions. Like the PPP, the PSP questioned why the charges were amended from corruption to lesser offences and emphasised the need for a sentence that would serve as a stronger deterrent to future misconduct by public officials. Initially, Iswaran faced 35 charges, including 2 counts of corruption under the PCA. However, on 24 September 2024, the AGC amended the charges to less severe offences under Section 165 of the Penal Code, which pertains to public servants receiving valuable items in connection with their duties. The AGC explained that it had encountered substantial evidentiary risks in pursuing the original corruption charges. These risks stemmed from the fact that both Iswaran and the businessmen involved would likely deny any corrupt intent, making it difficult to prove inducement or bribery. The AGC noted that the primary parties in the transactions had a vested interest in denying corruption, which complicated the case and reduced the likelihood of a conviction under the PCA. Despite these challenges, Iswaran admitted to obstructing the course of justice by repaying 5,000 Singapore dollars for a business class flight that Ong Beng Seng had arranged. The court considered this and the remaining 30 charges when sentencing Iswaran to 12 months in prison. Contrary to earlier speculation that Iswaran might appeal the sentence, the former minister announced on 7 October 2024 that he would not be filing an appeal. Following this announcement, Iswaran has begun serving his 12-month sentence, marking the conclusion of a high-profile case that has drawn significant public interest. His decision not to appeal signals the end of the legal proceedings, though the ramifications of the case continue to be discussed by political parties and the public. Iswaran had been sentenced for 4 counts of receiving valuable gifts while holding public office, in violation of Section 165 of the Penal Code. He was also convicted of 1 count of obstructing justice. His actions, which involved gifts from prominent businessmen Ong Beng Seng, chairman of Singapore GP, and David Lum Kok Seng, managing director of Lum Chang Holdings, were part of a broader investigation into corruption and misconduct by high-ranking officials. Ong has since been charged with 2 charges, but there will not be any charge against Lum, according to the AGC.